For many years, Toys R Us was the biggest toy store in the world. If someone wanted a toy, this was the place they went. It had large stores, long aisles, and thousands of toys. At its peak, Toys R Us had more than 1,600 stores worldwide. Millions of families shopped there every year. It seemed like the company would last forever. But in 2017, Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy. In 2018, it closed most of its U.S. stores. Many people were surprised, but the problems had been building for years. To understand what happened, we need to look at three main things: debt, changes in retail, and company decisions. The big debt problem. The biggest problem for Toys R Us was debt. In 2005, Toys R Us was bought by three investment firms. These firms used a deal called a leveraged buyout. A leveraged buyout means this: the buyers borrow a lot of money to buy a company, and then the company itself is responsible for paying that debt. After the deal, Toys R Us suddenly had about $5 billion in debt. This debt did not help the stores. It did not build better locations, it did not improve shopping, it did not lower prices. Instead, the company had to spend hundreds of millions of dollars every year just paying interest on loans. That money could not be used for fixing old stores, improving technology, competing on price, investing in online shopping. Debt became a heavy weight that the company carried every day. Stores became old and outdated. Because so much money went to debt payments, stores were not updated. Many Toys R Us locations stayed the same for years. The stores often had dull lighting, crowded shelves, confusing layouts, old carpet, and signs. Meanwhile, other retailers were improving their stores. Target and Walmart made stores brighter and easier to shop in. Apple showed how stores could feel modern and exciting. Even smaller toy stores focused on clean design and experiences. Toys R Us fell behind. For kids, stores felt less exciting. For parents, stores felt
inconvenient. Online shopping changed retail. Retail was changing fast. More people began shopping online. They wanted lower prices, fast delivery, easy returns. Amazon grew quickly during this time. Walmart also improved its online business. Toys R Us did not keep up. At first, Toys R Us partnered with Amazon instead of building its own strong website. Later, when that partnership ended, Toys R Us was already behind. Its website was slower. It had fewer features. It did not match the convenience of competitors. Because of debt, the company could not invest enough in technology and logistics. Price competition became tougher. Toys R Us was a toy specialist. It focused mainly on toys. Other companies sold toys as part of a larger business. Walmart and Target sold toys alongside groceries, clothing, and electronics. They could afford to make less profit on toys. Amazon often sold toys at very low prices to attract customers. Toys R Us could not always match these prices. It still had high costs from large stores, rent, employees, debt payments. As a result, shoppers often used Toys R Us to look at toys, then bought them cheaper somewhere else. Seasonal sales made things worse. Toy sales depend heavily on holidays. A large percentage of toy sales happen near the end of the year. Christmas is especially important. Toys R Us relied on holiday sales to stay afloat, but debt payments continued all year. If holiday sales were weak, the company struggled. As competition increased, holiday profits shrunk. This made it harder to recover each year. Vendors lost confidence. Toy companies like Mattel and Hasbro supplied Toys R Us with products. As Toys R Us struggled, suppliers became worried. Some suppliers demanded faster payment, reduced shipments, asked for cash up front. This put more pressure on the company's finances. Less product and tighter payment terms made it harder to operate smoothly. Bankruptcy did not fix the core problems. In 2017, Toys R Us filed for
bankruptcy protection. The goal was to reorganize and reduce debt, but bankruptcy did not remove enough debt. It also did not solve the retail problems. Stores were still outdated. Online competition was still strong. Cash flow was still weak. Customers became nervous. Suppliers became more cautious. Sales dropped further. Without enough time or money to turn things around, the company ran out of options. Stores closed. In 2018, Toys R Us announced it would close some of its U.S. stores. Thousands of employees lost their jobs. Many locations shut down quickly. The brand still existed in name, but the original store chain was gone. What went wrong, step by step? To summarize what went wrong, heavy debt drained cash for years. Stores were not modernized. Online shopping grew faster than the company adapted. Competitors sold toys cheaper. Holiday sales were not strong enough. Suppliers lost confidence. Each problem made the others worse. Debt limited investment. Weak investment hurt competitiveness. Weak competitiveness reduced sales. Lower sales made debt harder to manage. The core lesson: Toys R Us did not collapse because people stopped buying toys. People still buy toys. Toy sales still exist. The company collapsed because it carried too much debt. It could not adapt fast enough to retail changes. It lacked the money to fix its weaknesses. By the time changes were made, it was too late. That is how Toys R Us collapsed.